only the highlighted statement. The Amperian loop is not enclosing any current. So that because line integral B dot dl must be equal to mu naught into I. I is equal to 0, so B is also equal to 0. That much statement is enough. Now, if you go for a magnetic field at a point exterior, this diagram would be better. At a point exterior, if you can see that this diagram, at a point exterior to the toroid, say I want to find the strength of the magnetic field at point Q. Now, if I want to find the strength of the magnetic field at point Q, which is outside the toroid, I have to draw an Amperian loop. Okay, fine. Now, inside the Amperian loop, there are 2 points. Inside the Amperian loop, there are 2 points where your current at one point, your current is coming out of the plane of the page. At other point, the same amount of current is flowing into the plane of the page. Are you clear, boys? Here, at this point, it's a dot field. So it's a dot. The dot represents the current is coming out of the plane of the page. And at some other point, the current is entering into the plane of the page. So the same amount of current is flowing in two opposite directions. Hence, the total current in the area enclosed by the Amperian loop is equal to 0. Yes?
Ma'am, should we draw the diagram?
The diagram, no need, boys. It will be a combined diagram. I'll send you the diagram later on, just for understanding
Okay.
sake. Okay? So I'm going to find the strength of the magnetic field at a point Q, which is lying outside the toroid. So now, inside this Amperian loop, at two different points, you can see at two different points, at one point, which is being specified as a dot. Here, the dot and cross is going to represent the direction of your current. Dot means the current is flowing outward, and cross means the point where your current is flowing inward. So there are two different points where your current is same amount of current flowing in opposite direction, one cancelling out the effect of the other. So the net current becomes equal to 0, which means the Amperian loop is enclosing zero current. If the current is 0, then the strength of the magnetic field will also be 0. So this is the way you argue for a point outside the toroid. Now see, for points in the open space exterior to the toroid, each turn of the toroid passes twice through the area enclosed by the Amperian loop. Now, what do you mean by that? Each turn of the toroid passes twice. Suppose if I place the toroid on the plane of your monitor, I'm showing the slight magnetic field at the point exterior to the toroid. That's what you're watching.
Um, no, ma'am, I can see applications of Ampere now to a circuit, to a current carrying toroid.
Is that everyone are watching that? Because I'm just right now I'm showing magnetic field at a point in the exterior of the toroid. Is that what you are watching?
No, ma'am.
What? It's
No,
not that.
ma'am.
Okay, one second. I have to reshare.
Oh, no, now you can see.
Yes. Am I showing that? Sorry, displaying magnetic field at a point in the exterior of the toroid? Is that so, boys?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Now it's showing.
Now look at this statement. Each turn of the toroid passes twice through the area enclosed by the Amperian loop. Can you identify the Amperian loop? The Amperian loop is exterior to the toroid. The one which I have highlighted with yellow in the diagram is the one which is being highlighted yellow represents your current carrying toroid. Right, boys? So look at the Amperian loop. The Amperian loop is outside this current carrying toroid. Here you can see each turn of the toroid means the turns of the copper wire, insulated copper wire, passes twice. Passes twice means what? At one point, right? The other side of the toroid, imagine you're looking at the cross-sectional view of your toroid. You are keeping the toroid on the plane of your monitor. Boys, when you keep your toroid on the plane of the monitor, each turn is a circular turn. First half of the turn happens to be coming outward. Second half of the turn will be towards in the inward direction of your monitor. I don't know how far you can imagine. But I'm imagining a current carrying toroid lying on the plane of your computer monitor. So what you can see is first half of your each turn of the copper wire is coming out of the plane of your monitor. The second half will be into the plane of the monitor. That's what this line specifies. Each turn of the toroid passes twice through the area enclosed by the Amperian loop. It passes at this point. It passes at this point, right? At two different points, your single turn is passing through the area enclosed by the Amperian loop. For each turn, the current coming out of the plane of the paper is cancelled by the current going into the plane of the paper, so that the total current I becomes equal to 0, hence B is also equal to 0. Only make a note of it, boys. Each turn, write the subheading magnetic field at a point in the exterior of the toroid. Write the heading magnetic field at a point in the exterior of the toroid. Then you can write each turn of the toroid passes twice through the area enclosed by the Amperian loop. We have been looking at your board papers. Boys, have you seen the circular which has been sent by the board? Have you checked? I think class teacher would have sent, right? Grade 12B. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All, see, everything is internal examination. Have you seen the internal examination? We have to send the marks to the boards. It's all internal examination. Now you know how you children have performed your internal examination. Boys, it is in all those previous years. Okay, fine. You had enough opportunity. First PT1, if you have not done well, okay, PT2 was a chance. Nor else PT3, nor your case. And finally board exam. That one exam, everyone used to complete it and things got fine. But now you look at the condition. Each and every exams are important. Are you clear, boys? Each and every exams are important. Right? You need to pay attention in class. So in case if it is internal assessment, certain things goes as this also. How regular your class. All those things now will be counted. It's not only what you write in your examination. Please be careful, boys. Please be careful. I think so. You might be having 2 semesters. The first semester somewhere it comes in November, then comes your second semester. So how much you need to prepare now? Might be November. You'll be having 1 semester exam. So what I'm suggesting is that I'll I'll take numericals in the second half, right? Shall I keep extra classes after that? No.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, like the first exam for 50% of the syllabus will be MCQ, right? So do you think the derivations will be important, ma'am?
See, the problem is the type of paper. Yeah, so many things come into picture, boys. See, that they have given, and still we are not very clear because they have told first 50% will be MCQ based. We are not still very sure whether they will ask us to conduct school examination. Now that becomes a part of your board examination. Might be if they ask for us internal examinations where we conduct the theory part, that might also be checked with us. Right? Naturally, MCQ as what they have told is fine. They will keep that directly goes to the board, right? That directly goes to the board, and board is also checking internally what examinations we are conducting.
All right, ma'am.
Okay, so be a little bit careful because we are going through the entire document. So written examination, they will not scrap the written examination. I don't think so. They'll scrap the written examination. What they directly want to, what is that they directly want to take it from you is MCQ. But they might also check how school is conducting, of how children are writing up. So don't take it the other way. So you all have to be careful. MCQs, all those things are now separate. I have to prepare MCQ. I need to take classes for that also. Yes,
Ma'am,
boss.
will our investigatory projects be as normal?
Investigatory project, I told you boys, holiday homework. We have sent you an investigatory project. You select any project, just go through it, keep it ready. What do you need to, when you come back next September onwards, we'll be having classes, but previously, long back, what we used to do is students used to stay back even for practical session. They complete their now in pandemic. There is no option of staying back. So you children have to be very, very, very clear about what you are going to do in your laboratory. That's what I told you. There are certain experiments which now you can easily do it in the lab, provided you tell me earlier, boys. Okay, so when will I talk? When will I speak to you? I don't know if I'm talking like this in class. See, there is an experiment called LDR. I'll just speak. Like LDR is easy. Apparatus setup, everything is there. Then those who are doing LDR, one session can I have with those children who are doing LDR in the teams? Only those boys. Then I can go for because I can explain how what you have to do in LDR. So you will get a clear picture. So you can complete your project. Those who want to do magnetism, there is what we call it as comparison of magnetic moments. So three of you can share, means I will put a separate meeting with you in teams. So we will discuss how the experiment looks like and how you have to proceed. So the moment you come to school, I'll arrange for the apparatus setup, you take up the reading. So all those things have to happen during your vacation. So I will send the one which is having the details of what are the experiments that can be performed in the laboratory. I'll send it. I don't know. I think long back I have sent. Long back I have sent.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Anyway,
ma'am.
I will send. I will send. Three of you can share an experiment. Give me the names so that somewhere in between I can have a meeting with you all for say for half an hour. We'll finish. Then you will have a clear idea what you have to do. So writing part in the holidays you can finish it off.
Ma'am, we
I'll
can
Ma'am,
send
can you
it.
send a sample of the practicals?
Huh?
Ma'am, can you send a sample work of practicals which you have to write in the
I'll
report?
do. I'll do. I think so. In the beginning of your academic session, I've sent everything. That also I will send. Okay, practical you. Either I'll send or I will put it in your file section. Boys,
Ma'am, the
uh,
investigatory project, we can do it individually also.
no problem. No issues. You
Okay.
can do it.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall I go for boys? Have you completed? Shall I go for the next? If I
Yes.
keep talking, I'll not be able to complete
Ma'am,
it. Yes.
ma'am, me, Taisir, and Rishit are doing the LDR project.
LDR. Okay. You fix it early, boys. Fix things early so that
Ma'am,
it's not.
even I've
Okay.
opted for LDR.
Okay. I'll talk to you, boys. Once again, I'm just resharing because I have to go for a video clipping. So I'll talk to that later, boys. I don't have time. This is a galvanometer. Just write the heading, moving coil galvanometer. Or just write the heading, moving coil galvanometer. So we'll see now. Most of you who have come for the laboratory, you have seen the apparatus like your galvanometer. So this galvanometer actually it measures a very small current. Basically, this device is used for detecting current. So let it be a galvanometer, a measuring device, or let it be ammeter, let it be a voltmeter, whatever it is. All your measuring devices are based on the principle that a current carrying coil placed in a magnetic field will experience a force and begins to deflect. Are you clear, boys? The current carrying coil placed in a magnetic field will experience a torque and begins to rotate. Now, the degree of rotation depends on so many factors. Basically, it depends on the current flowing through the coil. So that's what, if you connect ammeter in an electrical circuit, when the current flowing in the circuit is of a greater magnitude, the coil inside the ammeter will undergo a greater torque. The coil is always attached to a pointer. So more the torque, more will be the deflection of the pointer, which means the deflection of the pointer is directly proportional to the current flowing through the coil. See, this is what all these basics are very important. Basic concepts are very, very important when you are attempting your MCQs. Are you clear, boys? Suppose you now look at this board is insisting on MCQs. The best option anyone wants to study for MCQ is ABC physics. Are you clear, boys? Are you clear? The best option. Anyone who is having ABC? I'm wasting my time. Who is having ABC in this class? Boys, who is having ABC in this class? ABC physics? Anyone? Anyone in this class? Now, why I'm saying is that there are so many chapters. I have to take a copy and send you. If 2 or 4 students are there, each one can take a screenshot and send it to the other students. Otherwise, the entire book I have to take a copy and then send, because that's the best option. Now see, look where CBSE is looking for. CBSE is looking for MCQs. If that is the case, boys, then ABC is the best option. Anyway, I'll talk to you. Anyone having ABC, please help me out. Okay. We'll see for a galvanometer. Now the parts of a galvanometer. Then we'll see.
Galvanometer. A galvanometer is a device used to detect current with appropriate
One
modulation.
second. What happened?
We can't see the videos.
One second.
Ma'am, it's an empty slide.
One second. Now, can you see? Boys, can you see this?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Right?
No, ma'am.
No, I'm sharing this. Even now? Even now you can't see this?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
What's the problem? One second. boys.
Ma'am, that's the thing I was saying. Ma'am, you're sharing the folder, sorry, the file you're in right now where we added the PPT.
Okay, one second, boys.
Ma'am, so
Like, okay, so this is. Even now you can't see. Wait, boys.
Ma'am, if you try clicking play, because we can see the bottom video bar.
Okay, you're not able to see the screen.
Ma'am, click play.
No, I have clicked. No, it should be in this the slide mode. Okay, I'm just playing it. Now, is it?
No, ma'am, it's not playing.
Oh, okay, wait, boys. Then I'll have to go for this video clipping somewhere outside.
And for us, you're not in slideshow.
Not in.
Ma'am, like you haven't made the slide full screen. It's showing the
No.
editing channel, like Siddharth said.
One second. Now, can you see the slides now? Can you see the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now. Okay.
to measure microamp,
Now?
order of an ampere.
Is that no?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am,
wait.
Ma'am,
for
could you
us,
now
the moving.
press? Okay.
Okay, wait, boys. Then in that case, I'll put it in the. That video clipping is taking more time.
Ma'am, there is a solution to it.
Yes. Okay. What is that?
Ma'am, you can go to full screen right now.
Okay.
Ma'am, now press Alt Tab. Alt and Tab and go to the Windows screen. Sorry, the Teams screen.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Now
in Teams you'll have to present again, like present. And this time you'll have two PPT options. Choose the one which is full screen.
Is that correct now?
Yes, ma'am, we got it.
Of an ampere.
You can
With
check.
appropriate modification, it
Yes,
can
ma'am, we can.
be converted into an ammeter, which can measure currents of the order of an ampere, or milliammeter to measure currents in the range of milliamperes, or microammeter to measure microamp currents. Construction. A light rectangular frame on which a coil on thin copper wire is wound is pivoted between two almost frictionless pivots and placed between cylindrical poles of a permanent magnet so that it can freely rotate in the region between the poles. The poles are suitably shaped and a small soft iron cylindrical core is placed at the axis of the coil, free from the coil to obtain uniform magnetic field. When the current is passed through the coil, a torque acts on it and is deflected. This deflection causes the restoring torque in the spiral springs attached at the two ends of the coil, and the coil attains a steady deflection. The pointer attached to the coil moves on a scale and indicates the current. Principle and working. The torque developed in the coil due to the current passing through it is given by tau equals to NIAB sine theta, where N stands for number of turns in the coil, I stands for current through the coil, A stands for area of the coil, B stands for magnetic intensity of the field, and theta stands for angle between area vector of the coil and the direction of magnetic intensity. As the magnetic field is radial, angle between A bar and B bar is 90 degree in any position of the coil, and sine 90 degree being 1. Tau equals to NIAB. The restoring torque produced in the springs is directly proportional to the deflection phi of the coil. Therefore, tau restoring equals to K phi, where K stands for effective torsional constant of the springs. For steady deflection phi, NIAB equals to K phi. Therefore, I equals to K by NAB phi, or I is directly proportional to phi. The scale of the galvanometer can be appropriately calibrated to measure the current. To measure very weak currents of the order of 10 power 11 ampere, the galvanometers with coils suspended by an elastic fiber between appropriately designed magnetic poles are used. Conversion of
Fine, boys. Conversion of galvanometer into an ammeter and a voltmeter we'll just check later. Can you see the slide right now? Moving coil galvanometer, boys. 12B?
No, ma'am.
No. Fine.
I'm
I'll
still on
reshare.
the video slide.
Okay, I'll just go for the other one. Can you see the slide now? Moving coil galvanometer with. Can you see the slide, boys, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. Okay. Now look at the statement, because when it's an important 5-mark question, moving coil galvanometer, or there will be an internal choice of cyclotron. So this chapter is very important. You'll be having all 3-mark questions, all 5 marks from this. Right? A moving coil galvanometer is an electromagnetic device that can measure small values of current. Basically, it is used to detect current. It works on the principle that when a current carrying loop is placed in an external magnetic field, it will experience a torque, and the magnitude of the torque changes by changing the current in the loop, which means the greater extent of rotation of the coil depends upon the magnitude of the current. So phi is the deflection. See, the coil will be connected to a pointer. So the deflection of the pointer in such instruments depends upon the current that is going to flow through the device when it is connected in an electrical circuit. So your aim is to find, right, the proportionality between phi and I. Phi is the degree of deflection of the pointer which is connected to the current carrying coil. So, and the degree of deflection of the pointer is directly proportional to the current which is flowing through the coil. So that will be the derivation later on. Just make a note of the working principle, boys. It's motor principle, the principle on which an electric motor is going to work. Just make a note of it, boys. I'm completely in the PowerPoint slide. Just make a note of the time. 10:30 is your time. You should not exceed more than 10:30. The moment it's 10:30, just stop me. Right, boys. Moving coil galvanometer. Yeah, you have to write. Device that can measure small values of current. It works on the principle that when a current loop is placed in an external magnetic field, it will experience a torque, and the magnitude of the torque changes with the changing current in the loop. Principle, please do mention the principle. Now look at the way of CBSE examination pattern. Now it is clearly indicating each and every concept. You have to be very clear, boys. Unless you're very clear about your concept, you'll not be able to attempt those accession or reasoning or your MCQ. So just make a note of it. Just move for the next 24, 6 more minutes. Have you completed? Shall I move for the next one, boys? I'll send you the notes. I think so. Just make a note of it. Principle is current carrying coil placed in an external magnetic field will experience a torque, and the torque depends upon the amount of current flowing through it. Are you making a note of it?
Yes, ma'am. Should we write phi is directly proportional to
No,
I?
no, boys. That we'll have to derive. That is what we are going to derive. So before that, we'll just see the basic construction of a galvanometer. This is the construction, the diagram. What you are looking is the construction of the galvanometer. It's not what is inside the galvanometer, boys. Only the coil and the magnet are inside the galvanometer. Can you see? PQRS is an insulated copper wire, or I
You
can
can't see
say,
the slide.
what happened?
You can't see the slide you're presenting.
See the slide.
No, ma'am.
Now,
You can only see the moving coil galvanometer. Can't see the next slide. Now we can say yes, ma'am.
can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. I think I cannot go for the slideshow, okay, for whatever it is. Now, PQRS is a rectangular coil insulated, made up of insulated copper wire. Now this is wound over a magnetic material in the form of a cylinder. See, when you're looking for all these electric motors, the copper wires are usually wound over magnetic materials. It can be made up of an alloy. Basically, it is made up of magnetic substance, element like your iron. The reason is that more amount of magnetic field can be induced. That's the reason. So you have an insulated copper wire wound across a cylindrical magnetic material. Now, one end of the copper wire is connected by means of a phosphor bronze strip. Now, this is one where it can, the moment the coil undergoes torque, the wire will also undergoes a twist. There is a phosphor bronze strip, and it's connected to a mirror M, right? So you need not go much into the detail. And the end of the wire is connected to a torsion, what we call it as a torsion screw on top. So this wire is suspended freely, boys. The wire, so the coil PQRS, which is wound over a cylindrical magnetic material, is suspended freely between the pole pieces of a strong magnet. It's a permanent magnet by means of a phosphor bronze wire, and one end of the wire is, so the other end of the wire is connected to the torsion screw at the top. Now look at the other end of the coil PQRS. It is connected to like a hair-like spring. A hair-like spring is attached to it. So now this is the basic arrangement. Now when the current starts flowing through the coil PQRS, it is placed between the pole pieces of the magnet. So now it will undergo a torque and begins to rotate. The torque experienced by this current carrying loop or current carrying coil placed in a magnetic field is NIAB sine theta. It depends on the number of turns of the coil. More the number of turns of the coil, more will be the torque. If the current flowing through the coil is also of greater magnitude, torque will be greater, and the area of the coil and the strength of the magnetic field. Now, what is theta? Theta is the angle between a vector which is perpendicular to the plane of the loop of the coil. Your coil, right, it has a surface. Any vector which is perpendicular to its surface, we call it as area vector, and the angle between the area vector and the direction of the magnetic field is theta. Are you clear, boys? So the moment the current flows through the coil, it undergoes a torque, and we call this torque as deflecting torque, right? Theta is the angle between normal vector or area vector. We call it as a normal vector. Any vector which is perpendicular to the surface of the coil and the direction of the magnetic field. Now, what happens when the coil undergoes a torque? It begins to rotate. Because of inertia, the coil keeps on rotating. Then the pointer attached to the coil keeps on oscillating. Please understand, boys. When the coil undergoes a torque, it rotates, right? Because of inertia, it keeps rotating. Then the pointer keeps oscillating, but the pointer has to be fixed, which means there should be a restoring torque.
Ended.
Okay, I'll just finish 1 minute. Boys, when the coil rotates, right, to stop the continuous rotation of the coil, there should be a counter torque, right? And that counter torque is given by the springs attached. The springs attached below the coil gives you a counter torque, right? Suppose the coil rotates to 30 degrees, and if it keeps rotating, then the pointer will not be fixed at one point. So then there should be a counter torque of 30 degrees to that extent, so that the pointer stays at one end. Sorry, stays at its place. So, and that is what we call it as a restoring torque. And that restoring torque is provided by the springs. If there is no restoring torque, the coil keeps on rotating and the pointer keeps on fluctuating. So the moment that it undergoes a torque, your pointer should deflect and the pointer should be stationary. Otherwise, you can't measure the current. So next class tomorrow, I'll continue with the derivation, boys. So somehow we have to complete this chapter by tomorrow. You can all leave. Those who have completed can leave.
Thank you.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, boss.